a leader. You are a servant leader. What's the difference between a leader and a servant leader? Well, some people think that being a leader means that they can forget about what it takes to bring people together. And that is what it means to be a leader. To learn how to out-collaborate your competition. To learn how to bring people together when they're trying to rip each other apart. I can't even say the words fully straight because the words kind of rip out of my mouth. Do you know how many leaders we need out there? So many people that'll say, yes, I'll take the responsibility. Yes, I'll show up when everybody wants to go to sleep. Yes, I'll be the role model. And when the role models go to sleep, I'll be the enrollment model. Yes, yes. If you are a leader, then welcome to this enrollment model, and together we are the architects of attitude. We go into a room where there's hopelessness and we find a way to bring the light. We look into a situation where there's darkness and we find a way out, and we don't just get out for ourselves. We figure out how to serve the next generation. That's what it means to be a leader. That's what it means to be a servant leader. It means you're serving a higher cause than your own personal resume. And that's going to require ethics over ego. And looking at this, I remember, I grew up making lots of money as a speaker. I traveled all around the world. I experienced all these great things, and then something happened. I was staying up late night. I was working on my goals, working on my mind map and my vision, and I stayed up too late, and I was working too hard, and I ended up being hospitalized. And doctors looked at me, and they did something that changed my attitude forever. They looked at me and said, listen, John Leslie, you are bipolar. Whoa. I thought to myself, how could I be a motivational person if the doctors are telling me that I have an incurable form of depression? And that changed my attitude. Have you ever heard something from a doctor or from a family member or from a loved one that just totally changed your attitude? Well, guess what? Just recently, after years of working hard, releasing a best-selling book, doing things and really keeping the shame of being diagnosed by bipolar a secret. Same thing happened, working so hard, traveling, speaking, get hospitalized, but I had a doctor, and this doctor said, you're John Leslie Brown. Wait until people hear what you've had to overcome. You can be an advocate for mental health all around the world. Wait until people see you as the example. I can't wait to hear your story. Let me know next time you're in town so I can show up and tell a story about what you've done. And you know what? That one doctor shifted my attitude. That one doctor became an architect of a new attitude. And just because you're a leader doesn't mean that you're not going to have a story to tell, that you're not going to have some things that you go through that are going to shock you. But don't you allow one thing to change your attitude in a bad way forever. It's no need to be ashamed of what you've been through. And one of my favorite quotes says, you never want to look like what you've been through. And how do you not look like what you've been through? You understand that each and every day, you might not be in charge of the economy. You might not be in charge of the news. You might not be in charge of what's happening all around the world, but you are in charge of your attitude. And if you have an attitude that you deserve, if you have an attitude that you can contribute something to society, then you deserve to be here, regardless of what the doctors say. It's about what your attitude says, and your attitude will make a way for you that people will be amazed that you arrived. And how did you get there? Your attitude made a reservation. Your attitude became the blueprint for a higher destination. Keep your leadership lenses close, because your leadership lenses are the tools to be the architects of attitude.
We next in line.